so excited about this video. Look who's here, the amazing Vic Cherikoff, and I just want to say a huge thank you for coming out
Justine.
to what is an air show today.
Yep.
I promise you, I do live near Camden Airport, but I promise you when we are filming, it's like they know. It's like the memo goes out, so there might be a few planes overhead. Vic, thank you.
It's either that or the guy mowing his lawn next door.
I'm telling you. And Spencer has had to be actually put inside the house because he cannot. He's just a disgrace. Okay, he just disgraces himself. Welcome back to the channel, Justine Diana's Shop. A lot of you have been following this journey and know that we have launched a product of Vic's called L.I.F.E, which stands for L.I.F.E. What does it stand for?
Lyophilized, which means freeze-dried. Okay, that's just sort of a scientific word for freeze-drying. So lyophilized, Indigenous, being native Australian, food. It's a food, okay, not a medicine, but it's a food. We'll have a lot to say about food and medicine later. Essential, so it is part of the supply of ingredients of these plant phytochemicals, plant nutrients, phytonutrients that are absolutely essential for us. So L.I.F.E is lyophilized Indigenous food essential.
Yeah, so this is like a nutritional boost, isn't it? It is a supplement, it is a food. We take it every day, just a teaspoon every day.
Now, what you can say is it's a raw food.
Yeah.
Okay, there's been no heat applied to any of the ingredients, the components. There's only been from ambient temperature. It's picked wherever it is, okay, so the Kalahari plum, Kakadu plum is picked in, maybe 40-degree heat up in the tropics, but then it gets into a cool room, then into a freezer, and then basically it doesn't go much higher than, about 20 degrees right through the process.
Okay. So here's the thing that I think for me is one of the most important questions. Why do we need this? Why in this current day and age do we need a product like L.I.F.E?
Unfortunately, we need it more than ever. It is unfortunately inescapable. I mean, how many of us feel overwhelmed? How many feel constantly tired and niggling pain? And you just sort of, you get up and go, just got up and went a few decades ago, right? It's not that we're getting older. It's not that we're overworked. It's not, okay, there's a bit of a bit of stress and a bit of sort of pressure in life these days. But I mean, hey, when you were out there, as a farmer or, you're basically setting up businesses, in the industrial age or whatever, there's still the stress there. Or if you're working for a measly wage, again in the old days there was stress, but those people lived longer than we did, and it's really only medicine that sort of got us a little bit further ahead more recently. But who hasn't heard of or who doesn't know of somebody who's not got obesity or diabetes or so many diseases of nutrition. It goes everything from poor eyesight, poor hearing, skin that doesn't look as healthy as it should be, all that. And the problem is we are just not getting the nutrients we need
even if
from
we try.
our food.
Even if we try.
If you eat organic, if you cook pretty much every meal for yourself. Unfortunately, we don't even eat too much raw food anymore unless we are eating fruits. And those fruits, unfortunately, super high in sugar. I just came across an article. There's doing some work at Griffith University, and this just blew my mind. Okay, I just to put it into perspective, mangoes have 3% more bad sugars than a can or the same weight of either Coke or Pepsi. Right, Coke and Pepsi around 12% sugar, and an apple is about 10-11% sugar. So there's the Coke and the apple. The apple's better than the Coke, by the way, but still, there's a choice. But mangoes, 3% more. And here's Griffith University saying, I'm going to work on pawpaw or papaya, and we're going to give mangoes a run for their money because we've found a way to breed sugar into pawpaws.
Wow. So can I just say, Vic, at this point, because people listening to you might say, okay, so who is this guy? We have got a playlist on Vic Cherikoff and L.I.F.E, so you can go back through there and click on the video that introduces Vic to the channel, and then you'll actually hear a lot about the books that he's written, the research that he's done, the research he's been part of with Australian wild foods, and actually putting Australian wild foods on that global platform. He was one of the first people to do that, and he's iconic in that field. world, and a lot of you were commenting on that and what you know about Vic. So we're very proud to have him here on the channel. So Vic, can I ask you, what is actually in life that can help with that huge gap? You know, that gap that we all know we're getting, even if we are trying to eat organic, even if we're trying to do the right thing. We know food itself doesn't hold the nutrition. So how can L.I.F.E, the superfoods and the wild foods that have been blended together by you in L.I.F.E, how can that teaspoon a day help us feel different?
No, really good question as well. And it's interesting that teaspoon a day, if you look at how it would be in a way equivalent to normal produce, you're looking at the teaspoon being somewhere near about 2.5 kilos of fruit and veg, all right, but so much more nutritious because of the added micronutrients. Okay, and micronutrients is the whole story. I mean, micronutrients are those things that are there in tiny amounts, 900 phytochemicals in food, and that small group of 900 phytochemicals, as we absorb them, as we begin to digest them, they then turn on our own defense systems, our own protective mechanisms, things like enzymes, for example, in our liver, in our detoxifying organs, liver, kidneys, and so forth. And that, in a way, turns up the gain. If you're getting these phytonutrients, it's not just those, but there's a proportion of, say you've got a dose of an antioxidant. You consume that, take vitamin C, for example, and the vitamin C is essentially good in a few reactions, not so good in others. It might overload some, so synthetic's not a good idea anyway. But let's say you take, you have a raw capsicum, for example, right?
Okay.
And it's homegrown. It's not been in the stores forever. And it's organically grown at home. So you eat it, you've got some vitamin C there. You might have a few strawberries, good source of vitamin C as well, okay? Now, that antioxidant will sort of, or the vitamin C in that will give you a certain effect. If you can eat more of these antioxidants as you get in life, that actually upregulates what they call the glutathione enzyme system. Okay, now glutathione is equivalent to like 1 to 6 million of these phytochemicals. So it's like turning up the gain on really just delivering fantastic quality nutrition to us.
And so here's the thing. I think, some people, they think it's a mystery that they don't feel well, but I know this is so basic and almost silly to say, but we have to remember the way we feel it still is just like petrol in the car, Vic, a direct link to the fuel we're giving ourselves.
Absolutely. Well,
our nails, our hair, our eyes, our skin, our energy.
100%. And not only that, but the food we're giving to the bugs in our gut.
That's the big thing, isn't it?
They've now worked out that, there's 37 trillion cells in our gut. All right, latest figures. But anyway, we have 100 trillion cells in our body. All right, so we're carrying about a third of our body weight as microorganisms. Now that's interesting in a way, or in terms of cellular weight. Now what the microorganisms get to eat, in a way, changes the population of the bugs themselves. And they then say, well, we want more of this. This is good food, let's get more. So they then secrete chemicals into the brain or into the bloodstream, gets to the brain. In fact, there's direct links from the gut to the brain, neural links, And so they can actually send either electrical neurotransmitter links or send chemicals that float around your body, get into the brain, cross the blood-brain barrier. I mean, the whole thing is just adapted to these bugs in our gut. And they make us, or they help us absorb more nutrients. They do a whole lot of beneficial things for us. They build our immunity. They produce anti-cancer compounds from food that we eat that they like. But if we're eating the wrong food, if you're out there and you're slamming macadamias and
macadamias are okay, people.
I'm too used to native foods, but if you're eating,
I do, and I have to say, I cannot sit here because our tribe that you're now part of, they know I love McDonald's, Vic. I've got a problem. They know. They know I love the drive. And I don't discriminate. Any drive-through. And I'm there. Yes. And they know that. So that's why this is...
That's not your decision, though. See, that's the bugs in your gut saying, we want to stop and eat that.
Yes, Vic. It's not me.
So what we need
But what I'm saying is a lot of people live like this, Vic. Okay,
do.
so I don't sit here in judgment.
Well,
all
the
right?
other thing is how many people get hungry by, 11 o'clock in the day, in the morning.
Yeah, or tired by 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And desperate for sleep.
Yeah, desperate for sleep.
Now,
yeah.
I take L.I.F.E in the morning.
Yeah.
And I basically don't eat then. I have breakfast.
Yeah.
But I don't eat until late afternoon or early evening. We actually have a fairly early dinner.
Yeah.
And I just do not feel hungry the whole day.
Okay, so can I ask you now? Now, remember, guys, you can always email Vic the questions you have about life. But can I just ask you now, Vic, just to give everybody a snapshot of the wild foods that are actually in life?
Yep. Okay, there's about 14 of them.
Wow.
There are 14 of them, okay. And there's 13 other superfoods. And we'll talk about both because even the way we pick the other superfoods has got a lot of similarities to how we've picked the 14.
Right.
So I've been really lucky since I was harvesting and foraging and eating wild foods since I was in my teenage years. 17, 18, that's a long time ago. Anyway, I remember going out and sort of sampling things, and I perfected this taste and spit method, and I didn't even know what I was eating at the time. I did a science degree in order to learn the species of what I was eating, and learn the botany that way. But I was lucky enough to do enough post-graduation with the nutritional science of wild foods, and then also tap into communities out there in remote Australia, and travel with a flying doctor, and went out with NT Health as well in the Northern Territory Department of Health, and we'd sort of zip out into four-wheel drive from Darwin and end up in a community later that day, and I was there with the women going out bush for weeks on end. Worked with a roving dentist in Central Australia. Was involved in a massive project as one of the invited Australian scientists of 80 scientists, but most of them were UK, as part of the Royal Linnean and Royal Geographic Society, and that was in the Kimberley, and it's called Kimberley 2000. So there was all these amazing projects.
What have you done, Bob? Absolutely nothing. He's standing behind the light. I'm just listening, and jokes aside, that is incredible, and that put you in the position to be able to source and understand.
I was lucky to learn and get an overview of literally dozens of Aboriginal communities in remote areas, what they were eating, what they can eat, what they still eat today or have access today, and then collecting samples and organising collectors to send stuff into the lab, and then analysing them for all their nutritional value. And these days there's even other researchers now looking at more of the modern antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, anti-proliferatives, anti-carcinogens, adaptogens, anti-allergens. The micronutrient list is huge. Maybe we'll put a list up for people to get. But a lot of benefits. And so what I've been able to do in a way is cherry pick the best of the best products from around the country. And my aim as well was to have this product available for Aboriginal people. But Aboriginal people are, it's like Italians. They want to eat Italian. Okay, they love Italian food. Why would they want to eat anything else in a way? We'll go out and eat Mexican.
No, that's right.
But and so Aborigines are the same for their particular foods. So again, my strategy was to put as many different good foods, the top echelon of these wild foods, into my products like L.I.F E, so that they could identify with one or two ingredients no matter where they were from. And so we've got Aboriginal people now that are taking it, and their blood pressure's normalised. I mean, I can't make claims for it. I'm not making any claims, but this is the results that people are simply telling me. I mean, this is a food. If you eat the right food, you can actually protect yourself against a whole raft of these diseases of nutrition.
Well, this is the huge nutritional boost that I think a lot of people out there might really need in their life. And to me, it always beggars belief that people will go and spend $100 on a pair of shoes, won't think...
Only 100? Jeez, you have to give the...
My husband's just inside that door. People spend $10 on a pair of shoes. And they don't think twice about it. They'll go to a restaurant, no problem. When it comes to people's health, people are skeptical. They're cynical. They go, what if I spend $100 and it doesn't work? What if it's your health. And I think
we
that's
even give
always...
a 30-day money-back guarantee. In fact, we just give a guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, send it back any time. Okay?
Absolutely.
It's no big deal.
But I also love that we're now on social media with this, because Vic, people will leave comments below this YouTube video. It will be transparent for everyone. They'll leave comments on my Facebook page, my Instagram. So they're welcome to do that.
Well, the really interesting thing is, don't forget, we're all in a different place biochemically.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So different ages, different stress, different lives, lifestyles, different food cultures, and so forth. And so and some people eat more McDonald's than others. But the interesting thing is that whatever you get from life will affect you in different ways. Yeah. And sometimes it's a different effect in the time of life as well. Absolutely. I've had people who eat organic and cook at home a lot. They actually include a lot of raw food in their diet as well, which is a really good idea. But eating raw vegetables, for example, in order to get anything out of broccoli, broccolini, or that whole brassica family. I mean, we think we eat a wider range of food, but Brassica oleracea is one plant, and it gives us kale, cauliflower, broccoli, broccolini, cabbage, in fact several types of cabbages, Chinese cabbage, red cabbage, collard greens, kohlrabi, goes on and on, 12 different foods that are all coming from one species.
Yes, you're not getting a wide range.
We're eating less and less foods. But even if you sort of went out there and you ate near wild foods, you forage whatever you can, and then you start on life, I've had those people still say after it took about 7 days, and I got this energy and I just felt great.
And can I say on that as well, so the first surprise with life is that it tastes great. And that really is the first surprise. Yeah. But you know as soon as you open it, because it smells beautiful. It smells so you think, this is and it's got a gorgeous colour, and you think, I might be all right here. This might not taste like dirt. But you take that teaspoon and it tingles on your tongue. Yep. Tell me about that, Vic, because that's amazing the way it does that tingling. Yeah,
well, I just put a little bit of bicarb in there. Yeah. And sort of the acids, the organic acids sort of release and work with the bicarb on the tongue. And the reason for it is if you don't put it in, which was one of the early formulations, there's this lump of granular powder on the tongue, and it sort of sits there for a while. And so even when you try and drink something, it takes a while to break
dissolves
it off.
This
is sort of effervescent.
It's divine.
And I took a leaf out of Barocca, didn't I?
Yeah, you certainly did. But I love it because, and then you have a big glass of water. I had a friend ask, can you mix it in water?
You can. I mean, I mix a third of a teaspoon into about 3 mils of water. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Proportions are irrelevant, but I mean, I'll tell you why I do this. And I mix it all up and I leave it sit, and it'll bubble even in the water in a little dish. And then I wait for probably about 3 minutes, and it goes slightly thick, slightly thick. Okay, so you have to rehydrate these freeze-dried powders. Then I suck it up into a syringe, get it all up, get it into the syringe, and bang it in my dog's mouth.
Oh, I'm going to have a lot of questions about that. That's great.
But again,
the spoodle.
The spoodle, and the big poodle gets it as well.
The spoodle and the poodle. Doesn't look like a spoodle and a poodle owner, but
you should see my poodle.
Yeah, they're big.
It's a teacup, it's about this big.
They're big. So for those of you that are interested, what we'll do is there's links down below to buy L.I.F.E. They'll take you over to Vic's website. There are options over there to get a sample pack if you just want to try it for a week, whether you want to get the months, whether you want to have it on like an auto-delivered sort of system. You do get a discount if you buy more. Is that right,
Well,
Vic?
we can pack 3 of the 150, the 1 month packs into the same envelope as just a single one. Yeah. All right. So if you buy 3, you save yourself about $22 in freight.
Awesome. So the link's down below. Any questions for Vic, send him an email. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. We're going to have a whole playlist for Vic and the information that he has. So we might just do a video on antioxidants or on sugars that you guys can watch. So we are going to seriously tap into this wealth of knowledge. So give me suggestions as well. Leave comments down below about things you'd like to hear from Vic, whole segments you'd like him to do about certain issues you might even have, and we'll pass it on to Vic. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you, Vic Cherikoff.
Justine,
thanks for being here. See you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, and for more great videos, click here.